So I went to bed and I'm like, all right, cool, everything's cool. But baby, when I woke up the next day, y'all, let me tell you, oh my gosh, I woke up, y'all. Oh, y'all, I was freezing.
I know it's been a while now. You're taking off in parts I've never heard of. I'm trying to figure out how I can show you now how I've been running out of things to.
Hey Glam Squad, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Talent Love coming back at you again with another video. I really gotta change that, y'all. Like, I need to make up an intro, but we're gonna get to that later. So you guys, I came on here to talk to you guys about the COVID vaccination, okay? I got the COVID vaccination. Yes, I did. Let me turn my fan on real quick because it's really warm. So if you hear, I'm gonna turn it on low. So we're gonna have the Beyonce effect just a little bit. So if you hear a little fan, I'm gonna just talk louder because it's just really warm with all the lights, and I had some drinky drink, yeah. So anyway, you guys, today's video is going to be all about the COVID vaccination. It's going to be a story time because I just feel like everyone should know about this vaccination, and I feel like it's just the information that's out is generic and it's just not enough. And I feel like personal experiences from other people are better because somebody might be like me, blah 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 blah. If this is your first time coming across me and yeah, you're like a glam girl like us, or a man, you want to be a part of the man squad, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, or like give me a thumbs up because the background's cute, you guys. Like, yeah, I'm bringing back old school Glam Squad YouTube, okay? So give me a thumbs up and comment down below if you got the vaccine, and if you did, what you got, which one you got, and if you got the Johnson & Johnson one, what was your experience with any one of the three that you got. So yeah, you guys, anyway, yeah, also, okay, yeah, moving forward. So yeah, you guys, so this is how it all started. In the beginning, when the vaccinations come out, I was like never gonna get the vaccine, and here's why. I don't do vaccines, period. Like, outside of like the ones you have to get as a kid in order to, you know, like get into school or play sports, well, those are physicals or whatever, I don't do vaccinations. I don't. And it's because like I saw, okay, so I was a nanny for a special needs kid, and the kid like couldn't walk, talk, and couldn't even chew or use the bathroom on her own. She had to get enemas. She had to, if you guys don't know what an enema is, look it up, because I don't even want to, if you eat and watching me, I don't want to spoil your appetite. She had to get enemas. She had to take, like, she had to do all this stuff, and she couldn't have like different dyes, and she couldn't even eat real food. She had to drink protein shakes, and I just loved her so much, but I felt so bad for her. And so when I asked them like what happened, they were like, she had, you know, based on her and her father's her mom and her father's genetics, she had some, I don't know what chromosome it was or something like that, but she had got a vaccination, and basically the wires that are like on her brain, like that cross together, like wires, just like the brain wires, just like real wires in real life, have like the insulation that like keeps the wires in so they don't rub together and cause electrocution. When she got the vaccination, hers like melted off and rubbed together and caused malfunctions, and she was having something crazy like 100 to 200 seizures a day until they got it under control. Okay, so ever since I saw that, I was like kind of against vaccinations. And then at the time I was dating a guy, and I remember he had got the flu shot, and he like couldn't sleep at night, and then my mom had got it and she got really sick, like really sick. And I was like, what are they putting in you? Like, they say it's a copy of this and that, but why they can't tell us the ingredients? So after that I was like, oh no, I'm straight. So I always been straight off of that because I've seen what it can do to people. Like if you don't know you have that thing, that woman would have never known that about, you know what I mean? They wouldn't have known that about their kid had they not whatever. And so because of that, they didn't, you know, vaccinate the other kids, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't have either. So anyway, those are the things that made me question vaccinations when I seen firsthand what they could do. So I wasn't gonna get it. But you guys don't know this, but I do have to start performing soon. I can't say where right now, but I do have something really big coming up like soon. And so I have to dance and sing on stage, and it's like during rehearsals I don't want to force dancers to wear masks, and you know what I mean, like can't even get good enough oxygen or whatever. And then I didn't want to be doing that, and you can't sing with a mask on or like rap and catch your, like it's just, yeah, okay, no. I don't know how, okay, I watched the, side note, I watched the Megan Thee Stallion Grammys performance. I don't know how her dancers did that in masks. I don't, like, what, I don't know. All that dancing they were doing, splits, I don't know. Anyway, so I knew I had it. So that's the only reason why I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. Now, full disclaimer, I have had COVID before. It was not this year. But I did have COVID before. So, I knew that I was going to take it, but I was going to kind of wait a little close. I knew I had a certain amount of time to do it, but I was going to like kind of wait to the end to do it. So, another disclaimer, I have a needle phobia. So, my mom had made an appointment one day randomly. It was like, oh, I made an appointment. Can you take me? And I'm like, what? Like, you told me you weren't ready to do it. So, she was like, nah, I made an appointment. Let's go. So, I'm like, I guess I'm taking her. So, sorry guys. Sorry. So anyway, I got a mirror right here, that's why I be looking. But anyway, you guys, so we're in the car and I'm taking her, and she was like, you should just ask him, can you take it today? Because my mom knows I have a needle phobia. Like, you guys, I start sweating, I be crying, I be like, my heart be racing, I get nervous real bad, like, because it's just, and then like this made it worse because like, what are you putting in me? So, and what's it gonna do to me? I have a, so anyway, my mom's like, you should just see if you could do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then my mind, I'm like, they're not gonna do it because I didn't have an appointment. So we pull around and I'm like, hey, I just wanted to know, would I be able to? And then she's like, sure. And then she's like asking me all these questions, and due to the accident, I had all these things going on. So I was like naming them, hoping that she would like, one of them would like take me out of the running. And she was just like, no, okay, sure, let's do it. And I'm like, oh God, oh nah, dog. So I'm like telling my mom like, what the heck? And then I was like, which one they got? And it was like, oh, we have Moderna. And I was like, Mom, that's the worst one. And she was like, oh, it'll be fine, just hold my hand. And I'm really glad my mom was with me. So another disclaimer, you guys, no matter what I do, little things like make me sick. I can't, my system is affected by a lot of things. And I mean, like, it's not compromised. It's not compromised. It's just that, like, you know how people could go get high and stuff like that. Like, if I tried to do that, I would be high for days, okay? If I was drinking brown, I'd be drunk for like 2 days. It takes me like the whole next day and the day after to recover. And then if I have like 2 glasses of wine, it takes me the whole next day to recover. So I have to drink light things. Like tonight when I was having my little drinky drink, it was like a Smirnoff Ice because it only has like 4.5% alcohol, not the high amounts like the other ones. So, you know, it's easy for me to recover. Like even right now I feel sober and it's like 3-4 hours later, whereas like with wine and stuff like that, I would be like knocked out. So I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. So we drive around the circle, and because it was like at this racetrack or whatever. So we drive around the racetrack, and They do my mom first because my mom knows, like, like I wouldn't want to see it first. So she was like, oh God, okay, you want me to go first? And I'm like, yeah. So she goes and she was like, she didn't even feel it. So I'm sweating, I'm sweating, I'm sweating. And the lady was like asking me questions and I'm like, oh. And then she asking me questions, like I could hear my heart pounding like in my chest. It's just like, whoa, whoa. And my mom's like sitting in the back seat because my mom likes to ride in the back because it's my room back there. My mom's like, she's so sweet, you guys, and she's like so good with like people with crazy phobias. And so I'm like looking back and I'm holding her hand, and then my mom's like, just look at me, just look at me. And I'm like, but mom. And I was like, well, what if it hurts? And I was telling like, I was like, well, I want to see the needle, don't sat. And then she's like, oh, we're done. You guys, I did not feel a pinch at all, like not a pinch. I didn't feel the needle touch me, nothing. All I felt was the woman trying to find a spot and then her putting the band-aid on. And my mom was like, see, I told you. And I'm like, what? So they had us drive off of the racetrack lot to another side where you sit at, and where you sit there, you have to sit for 15 minutes to make sure that, you know, nothing crazy happens to you. So we sitting for like 2 minutes, and my mom's like, whoa, my head hurts really bad. And I'm like, what's going on? So I told her, I was like, yo, my head hurts so bad too. But hers was like ring-a-ding-dinging, okay? It was school bell rock, okay? Mine was just kind of like, ooh, I'm buzzing a little bit, like I might have had a little drinky drink. So then like my neck started hurting a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, this feels like COVID a little bit. And my mom was like, no, don't claim it, don't claim it, like, you know, don't speak it into existence, we'll be okay. So like after the 15 minutes, they were like, go get some Tylenol, you'll be fine. Why do doctors and people be trying to put Tylenol on everything? It is not a fix-all, okay? It is not a fix-all. So we go to the store and we get Tylenol, and my mom was like, oh, I want some food for me and your grandma. So we go get food, and she was like, well, I want some from another place in case, you know, I'm not able to cook or whatever. I don't have to eat the same thing over and over. And I'm just like, as we're doing all these things, I'm getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I'm like, yo, like, hurry it up because we gotta go, because I'm starting to feel like crap. And I was like, this feels like COVID all over again. It feels like COVID all over again. If y'all want this the COVID story time, subscribe. I need to see my subscribers go up at least by 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. I need my subscribers to go up if you want the COVID story time, okay? So I was like, oh, this feels like COVID all over again. And she was like, what? She was like, oh, they said it'll go away in like 2-3 days. So I'm like, ugh. So I drop her off and I drive home, y'all. I get in the bed, like in the bed, under the bed, like under the mattress. Like, this is me. Like, if you lift up my covers, the sheets on the side, under the mattress. So I'm knocked out. And the next day I wake up and I have a fever. I didn't take my temperature, but I knew I had a fever because I was hot as hell, okay? Sweating, like, and it's cold in my house, it's freezing. So I was like hot, and I'm like, is anybody hot? Is anybody else hot? And they're like, no. So I got a headache, I'm hot, I'm achy, and I'm nauseous for the first 2-3 days. You guys, why I had a fever for 8 whole days? I could not get out the bed. So on the 8th day, I was getting worried because my heart was like racing and stuff like that after the 5th day. So that's a side effect that they don't advertise, but I Googled it and it's definitely a side effect of Moderna. So the first one, my heart was kind of racing. This is for the first shot. My heart was kind of racing. My head was hurting. Like weird kind of migraine. It felt like the COVID headache, like when I had COVID. Once you have COVID and you feel that headache, you know exactly what it feels like. And then also my stomach was hurting, I was nauseous, and then I think I said a fever, and I was burning hot as hell. So on the 8th day, my friend came by and she like brought me I had ordered a cup from her, 2 cups from her or whatever, and she had like brought me all my cups and whatnot. And I'm like standing in the floor talking to her, and my AC's on 67, like I have it low, and I'm talking to her and I'm like busting sweats, and I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, yo, what's the AC on? It's so hot. And we see that it's on 67. And I was like, yo, I still got a fever. Like, it had been so damn long, I forgot I had a freaking fever. So I was like, girl, I gotta go. I'm gonna go jump in the fan. So she leaves, I go jump inside in front of the fan. And I'm like this one right here, this baby fan that I keep. And it's got a bag like stuck to it, yeah. So anyway, I like jump in front of the fan and I'm like knocked, like just trying to go to sleep and knock out or whatever. So I was like telling myself, if it don't break by the 9th day, I'm going to the hospital, okay? Like, if I go to sleep tonight and I wake up with a fever, I'm going to the hospital. So I woke up, I was straight again, like, but I still felt sluggish for like 4 days after that. So that's like 12 days. That's almost half a damn month of unproductivity, y'all. I felt so irritated with myself, but it's like really nothing I could do. Like, what? I'm so glad I work for myself. Could you imagine calling in a job? Like, it's the working people I feel sorry for. Could you imagine calling into a job asking, like, okay, so you have to wait like 28 days before you get your second shot. So that was like 14. So like 2 weeks later, I'm living my best life. But she's like, yeah, it's time to go again. And I'm like, again? And she's like, yeah. And she was telling me the date we go. And I'm like, no, it's like supposed to be 3-4 more days out from that. Because I was counting. And she was like, no, it's the 28th. And if you don't get the second shot on the day that like you were supposed to, then it like makes it not as potent. And it's kind of like you wasted your time. And I wasn't about to go through 8 days of hell and the recovery after the 8 days to waste my time. We wasn't doing it, okay? So I go and I'm like, oh God. So I get her and then we're going to, they switched the place because, you know, it's getting hot outside now. And there was like a lot of older people helping and they couldn't like have the older people out in the heat. So with that being said, we went to like this place that was a community center then. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go to the community center and my mom was like, I called the lady, one of the ladies up there. She was like, the nurse said it's not going to be that bad for you this time. It was only bad for you the first time because you had COVID already. So your body was freaking out, trying to like get rid of it. So your second one isn't going to be bad, but everyone else with Moderna has an easy time the first time and a horrible time the second time. So I'm like, okay. Ooh. And I'm just like, I know my body, y'all. I told y'all I'm easily affected by any damn thing. Like when I was in pain from the car accident, they gave me muscle relaxers and I couldn't even really take them. I took one. Y'all, I felt myself melting into the bed. It's like my body felt like nothing, weightless. And I was like melting into the bed and I was like, damn, yeah, good night. And I went to sleep. And the next day I was still affected and I couldn't do work. I couldn't drive because I was still like, yeah. And I was like, no, we're not doing that again. So I'm like easily affected. So I should have took half a pill, but whatever. I don't need them. So anyway, so we go to the one or whatever and they come out to the car or whatever because it was like such a far away from my mom to walk. So the lady comes out to the car and she's telling me like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Says the same thing my mom says. So she gives it to me and then my head was hurting a little bit, my neck was hurting, and I honestly felt that's it. So I was telling my mom, I'm like, okay, let's go get food. I went to Target. I was shopping it up, get my new fitness notebook because you guys know I write down my food and stuff like that. And like I'm really cautious with my stuff. So I like go get my new notebook, waters, all kinds. I'm carrying water, y'all, okay? And all I got is a achy neck and a little headache. I come home, I'm chit-chatting in my roommate's room, talking to them. And, you know, just living up there like, how you feeling? I'm straight. So I went to bed and I'm like, all right, cool, everything's cool. But baby, when I woke up the next day, y'all, let me tell you, oh my gosh, I woke up, y'all. Oh, y'all, I was freezing, chills. Like I was cold like I was in Antarctica, y'all. Like I've never had chills like that in my life. Then I was burning hot. and my stomach hurt so bad, and so I had vertigo too. So I stand up and I'm like, whoa, and I couldn't, y'all. I was so sick. I stomached and made it to the kitchen to put a bagel in the microwave, and y'all, I'm greedy. I like to eat. Y'all, why I forgot that damn bagel in there and was laying in that bed all day. Every time I had to get up to pee, I was like about to fall over. I was walking tilted and I almost fell over every single time. Every turn, when I got tissue, when I went to wash my hands, when I went to grab a towel to dry my hands, I was like about to fall every single time. Like, it was bad. And I was just like, and y'all, I don't think I've ever been that sick in my life. I was so sick. I was like, like making that noise because I was so freaking miserable. So, I was laying in bed all day, y'all. Oh, it just makes me so sad thinking about it. I told my mom, like, the other day, it was so bad that, like, when it was over, I kind of wanted to cry just to get it out of my system, because I wanted to cry that day, but I knew it was going to stop my head up and make it worse. So I was like just toughing it out. But I have never been that sick in my entire life, you guys. So why a gnat? Like, what? So anyway, or fruit fly, whatever you call these things. So anyway, I was so sick. I've never been that sick in my life. And I was laying in bed till like 5 o'clock, so, or 7. So I was texting my roommate because I started taking my temperature. My roommate was, my temperature was 102.5. And I was like, what the hell? You guys, I never get sick, like, as far as temperature wise. Fevers, I never get fevers. If I get a fever or throw up, it's really something wrong with me. So I was like, what the hell? I have a fever? Like, that's a fever, y'all. That's not like 100.4. That's a fever. So I'm like, yo, looking it up, like, when should you go to the hospital? And they're like, if it gets to 103, you really should go. So then I waited a while and I took Tylenol, because, you know, Tylenol brings the fever down. And then it says that I have a fever of 103.5, you guys. So I was like so upset. So then my heart started racing, but not because I was nervous. It just started racing really hard. Like, I could hear it laying out. It was like, doom, doom, doom. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm not doing anything. So I called the hospital, like the COVID hotline thingy, to see what the nurses thought. And so they were like, well, okay, so you're 103.5. You shouldn't come unless it's 104. You know, I know it's high. And they were like, well, and then I was like, well, I'm really concerned because, like, I'm nauseous, I can't walk. And she was like, okay, you just have vertigo, you know. And she was like, it'll go away after a day or two, like 48 hours. And I was like, well, my resting heart rate is like pounding in my chest. So we take my heart rate, you guys, and it's 116 resting. So for those of you who aren't doctors or not nurses, and you don't want to like look it up or whatever, your heart rate should be between 80 to 100, and it's 60 to 100. I think it's lower. It's between 80 to 100 for normal people, but it's lower for athletes, because I think athletes have a lower resting heart rate. But mine was 116. So then I was like, she was like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital. So after I'm like getting myself together, it took me like 30 minutes to go like try to bird bath myself, because y'all, I could not do the full-on shower, like, no way. And I was like, damn, I feel like so dirty, because you know how doctors be probing you, they be like, take your stuff off, and then, like, I'm like, oh my god, like, doctors are gonna be probing, telling me to take stuff off and making me pee and stuff and whatever. And so it took me all that time just to like wash up and get basic ass clothes on. So I was just so upset with myself, and then I was hungry and dizzy, and my heart was racing so bad. So I told my cousin, I was like, you know what, my heart rate had dropped from 116 to 112. So I was like, okay, let me see like what it goes down to. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, did you eat? And I'm like, nothing all day. I made a bagel, tried to get it or whatever, and I couldn't do it. And he was like, let me go ahead and get you no, I hadn't eaten it since the morning. Yeah, early morning though. So he was like, okay, I'm going to Panera Bread to get you some soup. So he got me a chicken noodle soup and a bread. You guys, let me tell you how I know I was sick. I hadn't ate anything all day basically, and I only ate like I got to 3/4 of the soup and ate the little bread. He got me a little bread. I was so full and nauseous. Like, I was so full. That's how I know I was sick. And I was like, ain't no way no damn little soup cup fills me up. Like, no. So I was like, So I went to sleep, and you guys, I love being cold. Like, not super freezing where you can't feel your fingertips, but I love being cold. Y'all, I was trying to like find the comfort in the chills. Like, when the chills would come, I would be like, okay, go to sleep. And I'd be like trying to feel it under the blankets, glide on 2 blankets. And so I had to pull one of my blankets out of my closet. So I went to sleep. The next day I woke up, I had 100.4 fever the next day. So then after that, by the end of the next day, I was eating, and I couldn't eat without getting nauseous to the end of that day, so that's the end of the 3rd day. And then the 4th day, I felt good, decent again, but I had bad acid reflux, like to the point I was laying down and just like little stuff. And I had terrible acid reflux and a super duper migraine. I was like praying my migraine didn't it didn't persist. And oh, another thing I forgot, y'all, the day before it was time to get the shot again, that's when the migraine actually started. Like, it's like my body knew, like it's something in it that like, it was so weird. It was so weird. So, and I don't mean like just a regular migraine, I mean like piercing, where you're like, damn, what did I take, what did I change, what did I do? That's how bad it was, where you can't even concentrate on work, and laying at home just chilling don't even feel comfortable because it's that type of migraine. So I just had the migraine left, and I was still a little nauseous. So it's 5 days later today, and I was like still a little achy in the neck and just trying to move around. And today, like, I'm pretty much fine. I had like a neck ache still, but you know, whatever. I was like, I wanted to relax and release tonight and have a little drink. And so I had a drink, and you know, I feel pretty normal now. But I'm so glad that is over with, you guys. I'm gonna tell you something though, that second shot, that second day of that second shot felt worse than all the 8 days together from the first shot, and it felt worse than COVID itself. Like, if God gave me a choice, it's so sad to say this, whether I would have COVID or that second shot again, baby, give me COVID. Like, I'm sorry, all 14 days of suffering over that one day. I have never been that sick in my life. Like, the fact that a shot can, like, they're supposed to give you immunity, can make you sick as a dog like that, where you can't even function. Like, I know that that's not everybody's experience. I'm just telling my story so that way people who are sensitive to things and chemicals and this and that, they, you know, kind of know what they could possibly be in for. I just think it's only fair. So anyway, you guys, I'm glad it's over. It's 2 weeks after your second shot, that's when you are like able to take your mask off in places and stuff like that. And I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited about that. And yeah, so anyway, you guys, that is the end of my story time on me and my mom getting the COVID shot. Oh, I forgot to tell you about my mom. My mom, she only had like the mild headache. Like the second time, mild fever, achy arm. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the achy arm. Okay, so the first time around, y'all, this is important, okay? You gotta bring the story back for something important. So the first time around, 3 days after getting the shot, I got a knot like this in my shoulder that puffed up where the shot site was, and I just put a heating pad on it. It went and it itched so bad, like make you want to rip your skin off, but I never scratched it. And so I put a heating pad on it, and it went away, and then came back 3 days later, put heat, like burning hot heat on it, going to bed that second time, and then it was gone and never came back. The second time I had my shot, it wasn't a knot, it was just my whole arm was sore, and I could only lift it to like right here. I couldn't do like all the way up, and it would hurt so bad, like just to move it to right here. And so I put the heat on and it went away after 3 days, but it wasn't itchy, it wasn't hot, it wasn't burning, it wasn't lump like the first one. The second shot, I did feel the needle going in. She went a little deep, but it wasn't miserable. So I don't know, I'm just not a fan of like people injecting things in me, sicknesses. I don't know, unless it's like an IV for nourishment or like hydration, I don't want it. So anyway, you guys, I hope that helps somebody. If you have any questions, drop them down below and I will be more than happy to answer them. And also, if you want to leave full paragraphs telling me about your experience, I read every comment and I heart every comment. Because yeah, this is a small growing channel, small but growing, small but mighty channel. And you know, I just think that community is very important. So leave me what happened to you, or if you didn't get it, let me know if you're gonna get it. And if not, if you know, tell me your whys. I want to hear it. But because all we have, we definitely only have each other during these stupid times. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching my video. Let me know if you guys like the background. Okay, it's like 3-4 in the morning, I think. I don't even want to look. It's 3:52 a.m. and I'm just gonna go ahead and get this ready to drop today at like 8 a.m. if I can do it. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my video. Until next time, you guys, be fresh and be fierce. Y'all remember, I had to remember last time. Be fresh and be fierce. Glam Girl out. Bye.